No, you didn't do too badly last year.
Because we had World War I. That at least had some action. You try and find that in the South African parliamentary system.
Napoleon and the principle of equality. Hey, this sounds interesting, eh? After concluding peace with Britain in 1802, Napoleon used a brief period of calm to institute...
It means introduce.
Many reforms. Napoleon regarded all people as equal before the law and wanted them to have equal opportunities for advancement. All vestiges of the feudal system with its oppression of the poor were abolished. Vestiges, feudal system, abolished. I'm all right on oppression, eh?
I'm thinking. He swept away, abolished. The last remains, vestiges.
Yeah?
Of the bad old days, feudal system.
There's the social reformer we've been waiting for, eh? He sounds like a man of some magnitude.
Well, I'm not so sure about that. Damned good title for a book, though. A Man of Magnitude.
Well, he sounds pretty big to me, Hallie.
Well, don't confuse historical significance with greatness. But maybe I'm being a bit prejudiced. Have a look in there, Sam, and you'll find he's 2 chapters long. And hell, has he ever got dates? All of which you've got to remember, this campaign and that campaign. And then because of all the fighting, next thing we get is peace treaties all over the place. What's the end of the story? Battle of Waterloo, which he loses. It wasn't worth it. No, I'm not so sure about him as a man of magnitude.
Then who would you say was?
To answer that, we need a definition of greatness. And I suppose that would be somebody who benefited all mankind.
Right, but like who?
Charles Darwin. Remember him? Great big book from the library? Origin of the Species.
What, him?
Yes, for his theory of evolution.
No. You didn't finish that, Hallie.
I didn't finish it because I ran out of time. My 2 weeks was up. But I'm going to take it out again as soon as I've digested what I've read. It's safe. I've hidden it away in the theology section. Nobody ever goes in there. Besides, who are you to talk? You hardly even looked at it.
Well, I tried. I looked at the chapters in the beginning, and I saw one called A Struggle for an Existence. Aha! I thought, at last, eh? But what did I get? Something called the mistletoe, which needs the apple tree, and has got too many seeds, and all are going to die except for one. No, Hallie.
What do you mean, no? The poor man had to start somewhere. For God's sakes, he revolutionized science. Now we know.
What?
Where we come from, what it all means.
And that's a benefit to mankind? Anyway, I don't believe it.
It's the likes of you that kept the Inquisition in business. It's called bigotry. Anyway, that's my man of magnitude, Charles Darwin. Who's yours?
Abraham Lincoln.
I might have guessed as much. Don't get sentimental, Sam. You've never been a slave, you know. Anyway, we freed your ancestors here in South Africa long before the Americans did. Come on, try again. I want a real genius.
William Shakespeare.
Oh, so you're also one of those, are you? You're basing that opinion on only one play, you know. You've only read My Julius Caesar, and even I didn't understand half of what they were talking about. They should do what they did with the old Bible, bring the language up to date.
That's all you've got. It's also the only one you've read.
I know. That's why I'm suggesting that we reserve our judgment until we've had a chance to look at a few others. I've got a feeling, though, that by the end of this year, one will be enough for me. And I can give you the names of 29 other chaps in the Standard 9 class of the Port Elizabeth Technical College who feel the same way. But if you want him, you can have him. My turn now. This is a damned good exercise, you know. It started off like a simple question, and now it's got us really probing into the intellectual heritage of our civilization.
So who is it going to be?
My next man, and he gets the title on 2 scores, social reform and literary genius, is Leo Nikolaevich Tolstoy.
That Russian?
Correct. Do you remember that picture I showed you of him?
With the long beard, eh?
Yes, and those burning, visionary eyes. My God, the face of a social prophet if I ever saw one. Do you remember my words when I showed you his picture? Here's a man, Sam.
Those were words, Hallie.
Yes. Not many intellectuals are prepared to shovel manure with the peasants and go home and write a little book called War and Peace. Incidentally, Sam, he was somebody else who, to quote, did not distinguish himself scholastically.
Meaning?
He was also no good at school.
Like you and Winston Churchill.
Ha, ha, ha. Don't get clever, Sam. That man freed his serfs of his own free will.
Yeah, he was a somebody, all right. No arguments. I'll accept him.
I'm sure Count Tolstoy will be very pleased to hear that. It's your turn. Come on, shoot. I'm waiting, Sam.
Ah, I've got him.
Submit your candidate for examination.
Jesus.
Who?
Jesus Christ.
Amen.
Oh, come on, Sam.
No, the Messiah.
Yeah, but still. No, Sam, don't let's get started on religion again. We'll just spend the whole afternoon arguing. Suppose I were to turn around and say Mohammed.
All right.
You can't have them both in the same list.
Why not? You like Muhammad, I like Jesus.
No, I don't like Mohammed. I was merely being hypothetical. As far as I'm concerned, the Quran is as bad as the Bible. No, Sam, religion is out. I don't want to waste my time arguing with you about the existence of God. At any rate, you know I'm an atheist. And I've got homework to do.
All right. I'll take him back.
You've got time for one more name.
I've got one I know we'll both agree on. And he's a simple, straightforward, great man of magnitude. No arguments. And he really did benefit all mankind.
I wonder. After your last contribution, I'm beginning to doubt whether anything in the way of an intellectual agreement is possible between us. Who is he?
Guess.
Socrates.
No.
Alexandre Dumas.
Nope.
Karl Marx.
No.
Nietzsche.
No.
Dostoevsky.
No.
Give me a clue.
The letter P is important.
Plato.
His name begins with an F.
I've got it. Freudian psychology.
No, I didn't understand him.
That makes two of us.
Think of a moldy apricot jam.
Penicillin and Sir Alexander Fleming. Hey, and the title of the book?
The Microbe Hunters.
Splendid, Sam, splendid. For once, we're in total agreement. The major breakthrough in medical science of the 20th century. If it hadn't been for him, we might have lost the Second World War. It is deeply gratifying, Sam, to know that I haven't been wasting my time talking to you. Tolstoy may have educated his peasants, but I've educated you.
Standard 4 to Standard 9.
Have we been at it as long as that?
Yep. My first lesson was geography.
Really? I don't remember.
My room, there at the back of the old Jubilee boarding house. I had just started working for your mom. A little boy in short trousers walks in one afternoon and asks me seriously, Sam, would you like to see South Africa? Hey, sure, I'd like to see South Africa.
Was that me?
And the next thing I know, I'm looking at a map you just done for homework. It was your first one, and you were proud of yourself, eh?
Go on.
Then came my first lesson. Repeat after me, Sam. Gold in the Transvaal, maize in the Free State, sugar in Natal, grapes in the Cape. I still know it, eh?
You've got a phenomenal memory.
Oh, you should be grateful. That's why you started passing your exams, eh? You try to be better than me.
The old Jubilee boarding house. 16 rooms, board and lodging, rent in advance, and 1 week's notice. I hadn't thought about that in donkey's years. And I don't think that's an accident. God, was I glad when we sold that place and moved out. Those years are not remembered as the happiest of an unhappy childhood.
Holly, are you there?
Who's that supposed to be?
What you doing in there, Holly? Come out at once.
What's he doing?
Sam, Willie is in there with you boys.
Remember hiding away in our room when your mother was looking for you?
Yes, of course. I used to crawl in and hide under your bed. But finish the story, really, then what used to happen? You two chaps would give the game away by telling her I was in there with you. So much for friendship.
Well, we couldn't lie to her. She knew.
Which meant I got another rowing for hanging around the servants' quarters. God, I think I spent more time in there with you chaps than anywhere else in that dump. Do you blame me? Nothing but bloody misery wherever you went. that somebody was complaining about the cooking? When my mom was having a fight with Mickey Nash because she'd caught her with a petty officer in her room? Maud Mayring was another one. You remember those two? They were prostitutes, you know. Soldiers and sailors from the troop ships. Bottom fell out of the business when the war ended. God, the flotsam and jetsam that life washed up on our shores. No joking, chaps. If it hadn't been for your room, I think I would have been the first certified 10-year-old in medical history. Yeah, the memories are coming back now. Down the corridor, telephone on my right, which my mom keeps locked because somebody is using it on the sly, not paying. Past the kitchen, unappetizing cooking smells. Round the corner, into the backyard. Hold my breath again because there are more unpleasant smells coming from the old lavatory. Into the teeny passageway. First door on my right, into your room. How's that?
Good. But as usual, you forgot to knock.
Like that time I barged in and caught you and Cynthia at it. Remember? God, was I embarrassed. I didn't know what was going on at first.
Yeah, that taught you a lesson, eh?
And about a lot more than knocking on doors, I'll have you know. And I don't mean geography either. Hell, Sam, couldn't you have waited until dark?
Nope.
Was it that urgent?
Yep, and if you don't believe me, wait until your time comes.
Oh, no, thank you. I'm not interested in girls. Gray little room with a cold cement floor. Your bed is against that wall. Now I know why the mattress sags so much.
Yeah.
Willie's bed is propped up on bricks because one of the legs is broken. Wobbly little table with a jug of water and a wash basin. Yes, and stuck to the wall above it are some pin-up pictures from magazines. Joe Louis.
Brown Bomber. World title. 3 rounds. Knockout.
Against who?
Max Schmeling.
Correct. So much for the stage directions. Now the characters. Willie is in his bed, and he's got his clothes on, but he's under his blankets. He's complaining non-stop about something. We can't make out a word he's saying because he's got his head under the blankets as well. Sam, you're in your bed, trimming your toenails with a knife. Not a very edifying sight. And as for me, what am I doing?
You are sitting on the floor giving Willie a lecture about being a good loser whilst you get the checkerboard and the pieces ready for the game.
Really?
Then you go to Willie's bed, pull off the blankets and make him play with you first because you know you're going to win, and that gives you the second game with me.
And you certainly were a bad loser, Willie.
Oi.
So slow. A game with you practically took up the whole afternoon. Good thing I gave up trying to teach you how to play chess.
You and Sam cheated.
There were occasions when Sam and I would deliberately let you in so that you'd stop sulking and go on playing with us.
Then you two didn't play fair.
It was for your benefit, Mr. Malapo. It was more than being fair. It was an act of self-sacrifice. Well, you know what my best memory is, don't you?
No.
Come on, guess, Sam. Your memory's so good.
Well, we got into a lot of tricks in there, Hallie.
This one was special, Sam.
All right. I'm listening.
It started off looking like another one of those useless, nothing-to-do afternoons. I'd already been down Main Street looking for adventure, but nothing had happened. I didn't feel like climbing trees in the Duncan Park, or pretending I was a private eye and following a stranger. So, as usual, see what's cooking in Sam's room. This time it was you on the floor, and you had 2 sticks of wood, and you were smoothing them down with a knife. You didn't look particularly interesting, but when I asked you what you were doing, you just said, "Wait and see, Hallie. Wait and see." In that mysterious sort of way of yours. So I knew there was a surprise coming. You teased me, you bugger, by being deliberately slow and not answering my questions. And whistling while you worked away. God, it was infuriating. I could have brained you. It wasn't until you tied the 2 sticks